How's it going, everyone? My name is Mudbud, and this is going to be my Week 2, Season 4 team builder and match against the Bristol City Banettes and their coach, Jazz, for the USL. Looking at Jazz's team, he ended up drafting Mega Mawile, Latios, which is his Z captain, Celesteela, Doug Trio, Cresselia, Silvally, Zoroark, Alolan Marowak, Primarina, Diancie, Serena, and Ariados. Pretty well-rounded team, in my opinion, that Jazz has. Looking at his top threats, obviously Mega Mawile, really nothing on my team wants to face off against this. Even Heatran, he can run a sub-focus punch and just destroy me. Latios as a Z captain is very effective just because of the wide variety of moves it can get. And Doug Trio really puts a lot of pressure on my team with switching out, switching in, and what I really could bring this week. So, looking at the team I decided to bring, first off, I ended up bringing a lefties Mew. And it is max special defense with 252 in HP as well. And this is basically here so that Latios doesn't run over my team. Latios really can't touch this unless he brings Ghostium Z with Shadow Ball, in which case I can figure something out. But as you can see, Knockoff, Roost, Defog, and U-Turn. Knockoff is there, just stab or super effective on Latios. Knockoff an item on other things. And I don't think he'll be wanting to switch in Mega Mawile on this to gain momentum because Mew so often runs Will-O-Wisp. And U-Turn is there for momentum, and I had to bring Defog on this because not only for rocks, obviously, but seeing that Ariados there, if I just don't plan for that and then he brings Sticky Webs, I could lose just because of that, because I do have some things speed crept, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah, Mew is just here, take on Latios, be a good utility man. Going into my next Pokemon I decided to bring Choice Banded Delmise. And this thing is a monster. As you can see, with max attack, it is at 397 base attack, and that is ridiculous. Along with this, I just brought close to max HP. And I brought Anchor Shot, Earthquake, Shadow Claw, and Toxic. Toxic I brought in case... It's basically a mid-tier play in case, for some reason, he would want to bring in Cresselia, though I don't think he would ever want to do that. Toxic is there for Silvally in case if he brings Silvally, if he wants to switch into that, in case I don't know the typing yet. And the other three moves collectively just really hit everything on his team super effectively for the most part, or just really hit his team hard. And I'm really excited to see what this thing can do this week. Next up, I brought Shed Shell Heatran. First off, Shed Shell, obviously for Doug Trio, I don't want to get trapped by that thing. I have to be very wary of Knockoff this week. And looking at the set I brought max HP with 188 in defense and bold nature. I also brought 68 speed to outspeed the Cresselia so that I can get Toxic up without it subbing up. My moves this week are going to be Flamethrower, Toxic, Stealth Rock, and Protect. Protect literally is there to get more Toxic damage up and possibly Scout for certain Pokemon, what they're going to do. And the reason I brought this defensive set, and as you see my ability is Flame Body, this is all I have for Mega Mawile for the most part. That thing can run over my team if I'm not careful. So this is basically going to be my switch in almost every time, and hopefully he doesn't have Focus Punch. If he does, we can deal with that at a certain point. So yeah, that's what Heatran is there for the most part. Going into my next Pokemon, I did bring the God Vikavolt. I brought a lefties set with Agility, Bug Buzz, Thunderbolt, and Volt Switch. I brought a 252 max modest set with 216 in speed and 40 in HP. The 216 in speed is that so after an agility, I believe it outspeeds Latios, unless Latios is Scarfed. And yeah, if I can get an agility up on this, there's nothing on the team that really wants to come in against this. Mawile, obviously can come in, but Thunderbolt is going to be neutral. And yeah, really everything on his team just doesn't like this, except for that Alolan Marowak, which I really did not plan enough for looking back on it. But what are you gonna do? Next up, I decided to bring Mega Kangaskhan, but I brought a more interesting set this week. I brought Sub, Toxic, Fire Punch, and Wish. So, like I said in my team analysis earlier in the season, that Sub, Toxic, and Wish could possibly come if I see something that really is just going to basically nullify me, and that Cresselia he has is terrifying for Kangaskhan. Because if he brings Rocky Helmet with Moonlight, I maybe my Mega Kangaskhan loses to that. So I decided to spice it up a little bit and bring Sub and Toxic along with Wish, so that I can basically just stall it out. And then also Fire Punch is there for Mega Mawile and for Celesteela, which can't be Toxic. My final Pokemon I decided to bring was Specs Starmie. It's very straightforward: Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and Trick. Trick is there in case I want to get it on something like Celesteela if it's a physical variant, or Cresselia. And this trio of moves can basically hit most, if not all, of his team. The 216 speed is able to outspeed Latios at max speed without a Scarf. And ability analytic, so that if he switches out, I'm getting some extra damage. So let's get right into the game. So looking at what Jazz decided to bring this week, very surprised he didn't bring Dugtrio. I thought Dugtrio really had a nice matchup against me, with just trapping things, really putting out some pressure. And he told me after the game he was considering it, but it was between that and Cresselia, I believe he said. And I think Cresselia was a good bring, but I think Dugtrio was just a little bit better against my team. Looking at what else he brought Alolan Marowak, Alolan Marowak and Primarina, which both I really did not plan enough for. I really overlooked, I guess, some of his middle bottom tier mons. And he also brought Celesteela, Mega Mawile, and Latios, which I expected all of those. So I got 4 out of the 6 right in my team prep. And so to start the game off, I was not expecting Alolan Marowak to lead off because, I don't know, I didn't plan for it, and so I was like, oh, it's just an Alolan Marowak. And I go into Kangaskhan, and I'm like, oh, I have nothing for this on this Kangaskhan. And so I just decided to sub up, see what he's going to do. He goes for Stealth Rocks, which are a little annoying, but again, I have Defog, and I Toxic him, start trying to get some damage off. I go for sub again, thinking he's going to want to switch, thinking I'd go into Heatran with Flame Body, but he does have Earthquake, which, as you'll see, breaks my sub. And so I make a little bit of a risky play here, because if he uses Shadow Bone, my Starmie's dead, and that's a kind of a problem with just some of the Pokemon he has, with being able to wear down some of the Pokemon he has. But he does go for Flare Blitz. I am able to live at 16%, and I'm going to go for Hydro Pump here and take out this Alolan Marowak, which is really good. He ends up going to Mawile. I'm predicting the Sucker Punch here because, he doesn't want to take a Hydro Pump to the face. And so I'm going to go into my switch into Mawile here and go into Heatran, and expecting him to switch out, I just go Stealth Rocks. And Primaria comes in, and I'm like, oh, wow, looking at my team, not much that wants to take a hit from this Specs. I could go into Dhelmise, but 2 Moonblast kill, which is what I'm expecting. And he actually just goes for the Scald, and luckily I do not get burned, or else that would have been quite annoying, because the second Scald here could have taken out my Mew very easily. Let me change the speed on this. There you go. And so, as you can see, he goes for his second Scald, and it brings me down to 63% after leftovers, and so he knows he can't win this battle now, and he decides to go into his Mawile. And I need to get rid of rocks on my side more than the rocks on his side actually matter. I'm going to switch out here, go right back into that Heatran, as he goes for a Power-Up Punch, and this was quite terrifying, as he doesn't get burned from my flame body, unfortunately. But I did run some calcs, and Sucker Punch cannot take me out from this range, and I go for Flamethrower, and thank God I take that out, because Power Up Punch just did not go through my mind while prepping, not gonna lie. And if those rocks were still on the field, the Sucker Punch could have definitely killed me. But instead he needed a crit for the Sucker Punch to kill, and I'm able to take out that huge threat to my team. So he goes into Latios here, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to stay in, see what he wants to do. If Heatron dies, it dies. Mobile's gone. And I'm able to get Stealth Rocks up after surviving a Draco Meteor, and that's so big. And I just assume he's just going to go for another Draco Meteor, because why wouldn't he? And Mew's able to eat that up, and I'm able to get a Roost off and just, like, once again, get Mew basically to full health. Actually, to completely full health. Seeing Celesteela in front of me, I just get out of there with a U-turn, and I just sack off Heatran right here, knowing that it can't do much anymore. Again, no Flame Body, 3 turns, oh well, or 2 turns, was it? No, 3 turns. And so I go into Starmie here, he doesn't want to take a Thunderbolt, and he goes into Cresselia, and I realize this is the only thing that can take hits on his team really right now, as he brought offensive Primarina as well. I go into Mew because he can't do anything to me, and I want to get a knockoff on this thing so that he's not getting leftovers anymore. Whether he wants to Moonlight, that's fine. He decides to Thunder Wave me. Obviously, Synchronize is going to paralyze him as well, which is really, you'll see, it's really big for me. And as I look at his team, I'm like, Latios is weak to Bug, Celesteela is weak to Electric, Primarina is weak to Electric, and Cress is weak to Bug. And I think you guys know what I'm about to do. I U-turn into Vikavolt, he tries going for another Thunder Wave, predicting a switch in, and I go for Agility. I don't think he can do anything to me at this point. He goes for Psychic and only does 37% to me. With leftovers, I'm going to be 100% able to live another one. I go for another Agility in case he was Scarf Latios, because I did not see an item on that. And Vikavolt kills off the Cresselia with Bug Buzz. He goes into Celesteela. I'm going to be able to take this out with a Thunderbolt. And I think you see where this is going. He goes into Latios, which I didn't know if Bug Buzz would kill, but it did. I still don't know what item he was on that, actually. And then finally he goes into his Primarina, and I'm able to take this out with a Thunderbolt after he Aqua Jets. And that is going to be a 5-0 victory for us in week 2 of this league. And this was so much needed, as I'm now at +4 differential, even at a 1-1 record. After that disappointing loss in week 1. Vikavolt really doing what I expected it to do and just running over his team. From what I expect him to bring, I knew at least 3 things were going to be super effectively hit. And Vikavolt really did his job quite well at the end there, especially after getting rocks down, because say something had been focus sashed, say his Latios was focus sashed, I could have died to that, and my differential would have definitely been different. At least, but yeah, we get the W in week 2. Really nice game right here, and I will see you guys next week for my week 3 team builder or game. See ya.